is Tobias Derucki, and I'm the founder of Invoice and managing director. Today I'm going to talk about the integration of nopCommerce in an enterprise-scale infrastructure. I'm going to give a little overview of what's possible, what can be left in nopCommerce, and what can be done in expert systems. But let's get back to that. The agenda for today is first a little introduction what we do. We're going to look at the order life cycle of a shopping event with its login and single sign-on, probably procurement systems, outsourcing the warehouse, payment, invoice handling, and to whom it may concern self-service reports. Invoice is located in Wiesbaden in Germany, not far from here, about 400 kilometers. We have experience about 14 years of software development, and we do IT consulting, software development. We're specialized in e-commerce, integrating online shops into existing infrastructure. We've seen sessions today, building up just a simple online shop with nopCommerce is really easy, but that's where we start from. We also do a flight and noise monitoring system for the Rhine-Main area, for the Frankfurt airport. The product is called INA. We do a lot of business processes, integration, and interfaces with other software. And we're also doing individual software. Andre, in the introduction speech, talked about the solution partners. Right now we're number 3 in the worldwide solution partner ranking, and we're aiming at number 2 with more certified developers to come. We're a proud sponsor of this event today. I'm glad everybody made it. So looking at the order life cycle with an enterprise process. So this presentation will focus on B2B, but it's also parts of that can be taken to B2C shops. But everybody's leaving the room right now, so I think I got my audience here. All right, we see the order life cycle beginning with the login, going to the shopping cart, shopping around, the order at the end with the checkout process consisting of the payment, the shipping, the invoice, sometimes returns, and with that also the refunds. nopCommerce basically can do it all, and it's really, really good at that. But if you have a big business and you want to integrate nopCommerce into that, you just don't want to have one more island solution somewhere with an online shop. You might want to integrate that to your existing infrastructure. So you have to define for every of these parts of the process, will nopCommerce take care of it? Or will maybe my existing expert system do it in a better way, or in the way that I'm used to? And that's what you have to define for every single process. In this speech, I will look into the details and the pros and cons to decide whether it's the expert system or the basic nopCommerce system to upscale your own business. Well, login versus single sign-on. Single sign-on is if you are in an environment and the, let's say, computer or the website already knows you, like in an intranet, for example, that's also available to the outside, and you have to log in. And if you forward the people to your online shop, it's best if you already also transfer the login of the person that's logged in right now. Again, the pros and cons. In nopCommerce, there is a secure password storage. It's configurable. Passwords can be encrypted or hashed, which is said to be secure. The forgot password works as well, and there also, if you like, is a capture available out of the box. So if you're happy with that, just stick with it. It does it great. as I said, the single sign-on, that's the automatic login using existing logins from your domain account or from the intranet. Or even from a procurement system, which is in place in big enterprises. If you are with a nopCommerce shop, if you are in a closed enterprise-related B2P shop, go ahead, use SSO whenever possible. Because that's one thing where people just drop off is login after they have filled their shopping carts. The user administration of nopCommerce can be integrated flawlessly. It's very nice. You have lower barriers to sell your goods, which means that you have Upwork, you have upsells in your selling, and you have higher user comfort by pulling users' address and use for shipping. For example, if you just go to the shopping cart to the checkout process, you don't have to enter the complete address anymore. You could just pull it from the domain account, for example, and the user just have to check it and say, yeah, next, that's it. So that's a big advantage in order of the dropout rate. The order by procurement systems. Here we have one called from SAP, it's Ariba. There is no decision, make it or leave it. The customer just tells you, well, we have that in place. If it's an enterprise system, we have it in place, we need it integrated. What is it for? It's for line management. Let's say the secretary orders something and the line manager just has to approve that it's allowed to order that. For example, if there's somebody doing an internship and buying business cards in an intranet with saying CEO on it, you might want to acknowledge or to decline that order. So you have the buyer approval. Your advantage as a shop owner is you have a solid position in purchasing department. So, which means you are listed somewhere, and people keep on coming back to you. And with this you have solid revenues. The procurement system often involves an order request, an order confirmation, and an e-invoicing. I'll just go through that real quick. It's not too sharp, unfortunately. We have the user, we have the Ariba, we have the manager, the line manager, and we have the warehouse. The user just creates an order. The order request will be forwarded to the manager. He or she may acknowledge it and say, okay, well, that's a correct order. So this will be forwarded to the warehouse. The delivery notification message with a tracking number or anything will be returned. And an email will be sent to the user again. Well, your shipping will arrive tomorrow. This is the tracking number. You can go ahead, have a web link and track your shipping with your shipping carrier. With this, you always also have an invoice request, and the invoice is digitally submitted to the user again, or to the manager again. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask, or just come to me at the end of the presentation. We can discuss it. Payment is a different story. There are all kinds of providers and payment systems available in nopCommerce. I heard a number which said to be 15,000 plugins right now in nopCommerce. Is that what? Even more? Oh, yeah. Good for nopCommerce. Which one you use? Either it's PayPal, Alipay, SEPA is a single euro payment area in Europe, American Express or PayDirect. It depends on your market and often even on your customer what he prefers or she prefers. There are also e-invoice, collective billing, budgets, or even pay and shop, which comes with nopCommerce, and many, many more. That's just one hint I want to give. Beware of unpaid orders. Some payment websites, they pop up after the order confirmation, which is a big flaw with some of our customers. And if you have the order confirmation, you have a confirmed order in your system, afterwards you are forwarded to the payment system. Let's say, for example, eBay is unfortunately a bad example for that. And the user can just cancel the order, and then you have the order without a payment in your system, which makes a lot of work, and you have to talk to the people and tell them how to pay in different ways. So that's one thing. Outsourcing the warehouse, the benefits here. nopCommerce out of the box does just a simple stock quantity with each product you have, or even if with the product, if you have t-shirts, you have with each size. That comes with nopCommerce, that's nice. But you don't have any order history. Well, you have to order history, but you don't have a history of the stock quantity. You have to calculate that by yourself. If one item is ordered, the stock quantity is simply decreased by 1. And new transfers to stock in order if you, let's say you sold your 100 t-shirts, you go to the company, order a new 100 ones, and you just overwrite the 0 stock quantity with 100, and all of a sudden the stock is available again. You don't know where it comes from, who entered it, or whatever. If you have a higher order volume, if you're just a small startup and you start shipping with 5 or 10 items a day, it's just fine to use that. If you have a higher order volume, the inventory control in our perspective is absolutely mandatory. It's an ideal solution often to place just a fulfillment center which is totally focused on shipping your goods. So to say, it's outsourced warehouses. There's a much higher quality of services by specialized companies. We've just heard the presentation from Invion, where he said that it's absolutely crucial to have let's say, same or even next day shipping. Everything beyond that is just is not up to date anymore. Customers in this way are really spoiled, and they won't like it if your goods take longer. Thereby you have an improved customer satisfaction, of course. You usually pay per shipment, and picking is if the picker in the warehouse just takes out this one item and puts it in the box. You don't usually have no fixed cost. Well, this is according of your how you did the deal with the company. They usually have specialized warehouse systems where they have a detailed stock tracking with a history. And usually they have the carriers like UPS, FedEx, DHL, whatever you prefer, they have already connected to their warehouse system. So it's not in your shop, it's not your costs, you don't have to deal with the transmission of the tracking to the carrier. Yeah. Well, short overview to outsourcing the warehouse from a technical aspect. We had a first insight with the procurement system. First of all, we have an order, of course. Then you transfer that to the warehouse. From there, you get the shipping confirmation with a tracking number, which you can send out to the user again, which nopCommerce does by default. It's just a configurable issue. And at the end, you have the stock update in your warehouse. So to decrease the stock inventory by whatever has been ordered. The warehouse is easily outsourceable. The communication between shop and warehouse is done by using web services. This is the most the way we prefer, and it can be an easily developed custom nopCommerce module for your specialized warehouse. The pros and cons of invoice handling from nopCommerce versus ERP and prepaid versus postpaid. Well, pro nopCommerce, the invoice handling is easily available. It just sends out in PDF, which has everything on it. It is sent directly with the order confirmation. All you have to do is activate it to be sent out. That's what we call the prepaid order. That's for the prepaid order if you do that by PayPal without canceling it. You can, if you do it in nopCommerce, you can manually change all the numbers. You need a calculator for that, but so it doesn't calculate back and forth. But everything is possible: the price, the shipping, the tax, etc. And you even can check the status paid or unpaid by yourself. But what you do if somebody pays by a bank transfer, you have to check in your account information if the customer has paid. And again, if this might easily outraise your personal, your time and your resources. Contra nopCommerce, this actually wasn't meant to be much longer. There are, as I said, pros and cons. The built-in invoice has restricted layout functions, only header and footer. Although there are good plugins we use right now to do that a lot nicer. They are sent directly with the order confirmation, with a postpaid order, or especially with B2B. And you can, if you do it yourself, you can define if it's sent right away or if the company gets a big invoice at the end of the month or whatever. Whatever the requirement of your customer is. The invoice cancellation document is not available in nopCommerce. So you usually have to fire up Word and do the invoice cancellation if something's sent back or anything. So, and then you have tools in ERP systems also which do that, not automatically, but which help you doing that. There's no refund available in nopCommerce. Well, there is, but not with every payment. The status paid and unpaid with discount is unfortunately not. If the customer is paying real quick, usually they are allowed to discount like 2% or so. In nopCommerce, you can't put that in the system. It's just paid or unpaid. An automatic payment may be available with your ERP system, of course, and the dunning and pre-collection letter, the payment reminder. If somebody doesn't pay, how will you remind them? Again, there you will have to do it in a different program, like writing them in Word or having an ERP system which will do the documents for you. Returns, in-house or in the warehouse. One experience we have right now is the returns must be controlled. If you get your goods in return, you have to decide a lot of crucial things like, can it still be sold? Is it tearing apart? Is it like a T-shirt? Was it worn, or is it still packed in a small packaging? The open packaging. Usually, if you buy a gadget and the packaging was already opened, you're usually disappointed. So it has to be sold as a used product. And what you have to decide is, can your warehouse make these decisions, or is it just business crucial, not in order to have the warehouse just put the used thing back in the stock and just send it to some random customer, maybe one of your A customers. You probably don't want that. And can your external warehouse manage the shop data? Can it update the shop with, let's say, used products, for example? Usually you have to open a new product or within a grouped product. That's one possibility with a discounted. And then how many of these used products do you have? How many returns? So that's something you have to deal with and have to decide how good your warehouse, your fulfillment center is in order that they can manage that. Self-service reporting, enable your customers. There are several modules in the nopCommerce market available. Also flexible ones, but with those right now, at the moment at least, you have to dig really deep into the database. We use SQL Server reporting services with a report generator, which is a great tool. People who are familiar with Excel Pros, they can use it to do custom reports by themselves. All you have to do, you have to define the data, and then they can just click in, drag and drop. For example, again, this is not a nice resolution here, but with you have all you have the customers, you have the items, you have the orders, and so on, and you just can aggregate it by pulling it over. You can export that to Excel, do your diagram, your charts, and whatever you like. Other providers we have looked into is DataPine and Microsoft Power BI, which are really nice upcoming products. I'm not sure if they are already there where they want to be, but it's just like typing your request, and it will return the data however you like it. That's something you get really easy from the reporting services from SQL Server, which usually is already in your SQL Server instance and maybe in the license. I'm interested in your opinion. Which process do you find necessary to integrate, like to do the expert system and integrate it in nopCommerce? Anyone?
Data warehouse.
Data warehouse?
No.
The warehouse.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So handling returns.
Would you put the return into the warehouse's hands as well?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, so you have a good one then.
Yeah, it was a hosted one that did all that. We integrated the status changes.
Good. It's very resource intense to get the return, to scan the returns and decide if they can be reused or have to be taken away. Yeah. What kind of experience do you have by integrating that? Was it easy? Was it?
The warehouse system had a very good API.
Okay.
So we did the nopCommerce development to do the integration with it, and that was quite straightforward actually.
Okay.
The complex part was more to do with how to automate a refund the customer wanted to do. They did lots of offers, so maybe a buy one get one free, but only maybe one of the items might get returned. So you get complex refund decision making.
Exactly. That's
how much to return.
That is something we always see, or most of the time see, that the complex part with integrating is the business process part and the consulting thing. If you have that decided, it's, I wouldn't say easy, but with nopCommerce you have a great platform to integrate that and to build the business process as you like them. Yeah. Anybody else having? Yeah, sure.
One thing is, and this is actually changing because of the cloud, but the more integrations you have, the more headaches you have, making sure that actually data gets there, right? Because you may build web services, but what if they fail? The data didn't go anywhere, you didn't know about it, maybe you had error reporting. So now you have to build a lot of sort of buffering to make sure that data doesn't go there, it's stored in a buffer, and then you replay it. And with the cloud system, whether you're on AWS or Azure, you can use things like buckets or blobs or queues to do that. But that increases cost, but you get it on both.
Yeah, that's an interesting part, because actually the USP of the cloud systems is that they are always on, never down, and so on. But actually, you have to deal with that. Right? Yeah, very interesting. Anybody else? Okay. So yeah, if you're interested, just talk to me after the presentation. If you like, you can leave your business cards, and I will send the slides to you if you like. And my team and I, we're all here. Not all, but most of them. We're happy for an open discussion. Yeah. So thank you.